So, welcome everyone to this third episode of Beyond the Airbrush. Actually, that's episode 3, and it's posted after episode 4. But well, you have to adapt to change and planning. And today, I'm very glad to welcome someone who I talked for the first time. I mean, I talked. We never met each other until today, but we talked a lot about the hobby, painting, and the game of Horus Heresy. It's Bryan. Hi, Bryan.
Hello, everybody. Nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, my pleasure. And today, we're going to have a look a bit more about Bryan's background as a hobbyist, what he likes and dislikes, maybe about the hobby, about his painting, about his projects, about what he thinks about mainly the game of Horus Heresy, and maybe we can have a quick word about the upcoming new edition, which yeah, we're hoping to have something before the end of July.
Oh, like we were talking about this, I think a week ago or so. I need that book so bad. I need the rules. I have to know.
Yeah, we need rules. Yeah. So just Bryan is from Canada, if I'm correct. Is mostly, I think you have quite a background as a hobbyist and player. So maybe now you're big about the Horus Heresy, but maybe you played some
Hmm.
other games before.
Yeah. So my hobby background started when I was, I think, 10 or 11. My one of my older cousins, he was playing. He's 8, 10 years older than me. He was playing both fantasy and 40K.
Mhm.
99, 2000, something like that. And there was something about it when I was younger. I was like, I've always liked working with my hands.
Mhm.
And like the setting really drew me in. Like um, something about the models as well. Just like my young imagination just went wild essentially. And I ended up getting a like a third edition starter box,
Mm.
which was the Templars and the Dark Eldar. And
Yeah.
for some reason, the Spiky Boys, the Dark Eldar, really spoke to me. So I did that. I don't know, like as any young hobbyist does, your attention span kind of wanes a
Mm.
little bit. So I don't know. I painted some Dark Eldar, maybe 1,000 points. I don't remember. And a few other things here and there, like Tyranids, and I think maybe some Marines. I don't remember. But yeah, other things kind of got in the way of the hobby at that point in my life. World of Warcraft primarily amongst them, if I'm being honest,
Mhm.
which was a big time suck, but man, I love that game, or loved, I guess. And then yeah, I think in my early 20s, I have a good friend, still good friends. We kind of had a conversation, like the topic of Warhammer was brought up. And he was like, "Oh man, I used to have a Tau army." I was like, "Oh man, I used to have a Dark Eldar army." And this was around, I want to say middle fifth edition, like maybe the Dark Eldar Codex had
Mhm.
just come out. So we started playing then, like actually,
Getting back.
learning the game and such,
Mm.
building our armies up. And I stuck with 40K until the end of seventh edition.
Mhm.
I had a smattering of armies. I had Dark Eldar as my true love, if I'm being honest. I see the Dark Eldar kill team, and I'm like, I could do this as a project,
Yeah.
right? The
Mm.
temptations are everywhere. I had a Blood Angels army and a Eldar Jet Bike army, and I well, Betrayal at Calth came out. I think what tail end of sixth edition, and we picked that up. So we were playing
Mm.
my buddy Eric and I. We were playing Heresy and seventh edition 40K kind of interchangeably. And my first Heresy army was Blood Angels. I recently just sold them actually, which was kind
Yeah.
of a heart wrenching decision. But they were riding the shelf for too long, and
Mm.
it was time. I kept a few units that I really liked, my custom Praetor and such. But yeah, I collected Blood Angels for 8 or 9 years, I think, and I had around 10,000 points. So it was truly a legion.
Mm.
Um, But yeah, in terms of the game, like seventh edition ended, um, and then eighth edition started. We got like the I don't remember what the index books
Mhm.
at the time, and like my gaming group and I, we just decided that okay, well, this doesn't really seem to be for us.
Mm.
So we translated the heresy full time. Um, and then I think my personal hobby journey really started right before second edition when I had decided to start my World Eaters army. Um, because I kind of felt a little like stagnated with the Blood Angels, just
Mm.
painting red, painting red, painting red. And the variance between my first units and what I had done by the end in terms of like painting quality was completely wild. So I was like, I want some consistency here. So yeah, I think that's around the time I started my Instagram as well. It wasn't barely tabletop Bryan to begin with, but it is now. Um,
Uh,
um,
Actually, I have to say I have my doubts about the barely tabletop definition because,
mm.
yeah, it's definitely not barely tabletop.
Oh, thank you, my friend. I've got that comment before a few times. I don't know. I'm big on like self-deprecating humor. It's like a I don't know. It's one of my go-tos. So,
Yeah, but we can see some of your latest minis. Well,
mhm.
we will talk about the Dark Angels later on, but like, well, anyone can see that. Yeah, no, it's not barely tabletop paint jobs here. Absolutely.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, I've really wanted to push hard with the Dark Angels projects, but yeah, I think we'll get into that when it comes.
Yeah, absolutely. But just to talk about a minute about your Blood Angels, because we discussed that army like a while ago, maybe next last year, I
Hmm.
guess. And I was maybe interested in getting this army, like because you were telling me that you were thinking about selling it. Well, life being life, yeah, I did not manage to get spare money I can spare to more money than I can spare.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, you sent me some pics of those. I remember like a Dreadnought, the deep striking one. The
Yeah, the Incandius Dreadnoughts. Yeah, that was my first stab at painting black armor.
yeah,
They turned out okay.
yeah, it was pretty cool. And the Crimson Paladins, maybe
Yep, yep, yep.
with a lot of trim.
Oh, I after doing five of them, red with the gold trim, I can't do anymore. You know.
Mm. Yeah, you need to walk in the wilderness and think a bit about life when you've done painting.
It's infinite trim.
Mm.
It's one of the things that's keeping me away from the Cenobium Knights for Dark
Oh,
Angels.
don't.
Just infinite detail, you know. Like I think I would spend more time shaping details off than painting
Mm.
them. If I'm being
Yeah.
honest with you, like you did yours, and I was like, wow, the
No,
fortitude this man has. Oh my god.
no, never again, never again. And just like a little anecdote. So I spent so much time painting those, and actually they never did something on the tabletop. Never. Never. So yeah, but let's talk about something else because I still have like some
Mental
PTSD about
damage.
those.
Yeah.
Yeah. So can you tell us the decade you were born?
Yeah, so I'm early 90s. I was born in 92. So 30's treated me well so far.
Yeah, that's cool. And well, we talked about I mean your hobby beginning, but what really like uh what was appealing about the hobby when you were like a young teenager?
Yeah, it's hard to really remember aside from the fact that I've always like as I said, I've always liked working with my hands. So
Mhm.
I think there was like an aspect of it in that sense. Um yeah, what I can tell you what brought me back was
Yeah.
like the social element of the hobby. I was like, oh, I want to go out and play games. Yeah.
Mm, right. And so, well, I mean, in and out, how many years in the hobby?
At this point, coming back, probably 12 or 13 years.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Because when you dipped your toes in heresy, you never had a break or whatever since
No, no, no.
oh,
Yeah, I've been basically nonstop
yeah,
since, yeah, 2012, 2013, something like
yeah.
that.
Okay. Since actually it's the first edition, so
Yeah, yeah. Since I've played a lot of first edition Heresy, we have
Mhm.
like a local group. We had a local group at the time, maybe like 6, 7 guys.
Mhm.
So we had a lot of representation of legions too, which was
Yeah,
nice.
yeah, that's cool. And what do you like the most in the hobby?
That has kind of fluctuated recently. I think previously there's a couple aspects to this because previously, like one of my side hobbies, and you know this, is like list building in the morning. You know, my morning coffee, and just like, ooh, jotting down ideas. It's kind of like my journaling, I guess.
Mhm.
So previously, it used to be like playing the game. Like, um, I'm kind of a learned student of war in terms of Warhammer standards. But that's kind of shifted. My mindset's really shifted in the past year and change. Like going to gaming events and such, either here or across the pond in the UK. Um, I think what I enjoy most now is like honestly like meeting new people and seeing old friends. It's become that social element that drew me in initially is now the social element I look forward to the most. Like, painting is great and all, and I think that's the thing I enjoy like second on the totem pole. But yeah, it's like the social aspect, the social experience of actually playing a game with somebody, not the game itself, if
Mm.
that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I have to say that, well, from my experience, the heresy community is like really friendly,
Yep.
plenty of people to offer some help when needed, and yeah, that's actually like a lot of very cool and friendly people. So yeah, can totally understand that. Just on the side of the screen, we have well, that's one of your latest world eaters, is Moritat, if I'm correct.
Yep.
And well, we don't see that in the pictures, but he did something like an internship at the Death
The,
Guard.
the Death Guard, the
Yeah,
Death Guard School of War Crimes. Yeah.
yeah. I really like what you did on the helmet. That's like really very cool. The work on the leather is quite cool too. But well, I really like the marking, the red marking on the.
Yeah, thank you. A lot of my road eaters have like custom helmet markings, either to like depict the nails
Yeah.
or kind of squad markings and stuff. So I kind of wanted to do like the Karn has the same thing on like his crest coming down the teeth. So I was like, oh, I'll just extend it down the face because this is a Blood Angels helmet, and I kind of just like filed some things off.
Mm.
Because the inspiration for this model is like I wanted him to be like the lone gunslinger.
Yeah.
So I think like the blank face mask kind of depicts like no emotion.
Mhm.
So I was like, oh, like he should have a little like extra markings here to like kind of tell the story. But I really enjoyed both converting and painting this model.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it shows like really, yeah. Uh, Another great mini. Uh,
Oh, interesting.
yeah. So, just yeah, maybe a word about so this is well, there's no official model, so I won't say
Yeah.
it's a proxy, but that's an Incendio automata. I
Hmm.
guess the model is from Wilf.
Yeah, it's one of Wolf's
Yeah.
Diverging Realms
Yeah.
designs. Yeah.
And I mean, this one, like you went crazy with non-metallic metal, and I mean, it's really impressive because I think you started your NNM journey not so long ago, maybe with the Dark Angels.
Yeah, so yeah, a few things on the model. I think you said that I kind of went crazy with the non-metallic metal. I think I went crazy with this entire model personally, just in terms of like I think the assembly was an entire day of me just, glasses on, face or
Mm,
rebreather on or whatever, just going with the Dremel and just
mm,
cutting it up everywhere. Because like the lore for these things is they're like dark age of technology murder bots basically.
mm.
And there seems to be like a split in terms of like how people, because there's like some definitions of them, but it's kind of it's there's not concrete, which I think is nice in terms of like hobby design maybe. So this one I kind of went down the path of like it's a tortured man of iron that's like encased in this suit. And the suit is like torturing him and like it's pinning him in there and it's driven him insane.
Mm.
So for this one, I my thought process was okay. So there's only like 12 or 13 of these. I can't remember specifically. So they don't want to just destroy them. Like they want to. The Dark Angels are they're big on like utility.
Mhm.
So you can kind of see around the model. There's all these like gashes and swords that are stuck
Yeah.
back into the chassis of the Exindio here. And that's like in my head canon, the knights trying to resubdue this thing and like push it back into the cell with which it came. But the general idea in my head was like I played a lot of Dark Souls
Yeah.
previously, and I was like, this was in my head. I'm like, this is something that was once beautiful, like now tarnished by time, now dishonored. So I wanted to also do a pose where he's like slowly limbering forward,
Mhm.
dragging the sword in the back, like almost not having the strength to fully wield the blade. But yeah, so my non-metallic metal journey started with the Dark Angels, just doing the swords, just
Yeah.
something simple.
Mhm.
And then on this miniature, his right leg was where I started,
Mhm.
went across the legs, and then went up into the torso afterwards. I'm really proud of the eagle, the Aquila on the left leg there.
Yeah.
My good buddy Tim helped me with the reflections. So I was kind of learning as I go, honestly.
Um, so maybe is there something that you dislike in the hobby?
Oh, Mechanicum. Get out of my marine game.
Yeah.
I'm a certified Mechanicum hater.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't help it. I can't help it.
Does it have something to do with maybe like the graviton flammers or something?
Um, I think there's a certain like asymmetry with the Mechanicum. They just play a completely different game from Marine players. It really brings me back to like Tau slash Eldar in seventh edition, where it's like, oh, I get to move and then shoot and then move, and then if you try and charge me, I shoot you and then I move. So it's like it's all this like extra pizzazz that they have, where I'm just like, oh, please just let me hit you, you know. Um, that's it's kind of like a half joke, but every time I do see Mechanic Army on the board, I'm like, okay, like control yourself, Bryan. Like it'll be a good game. No worries. Don't freak out.
Okay. So you have painted like quite a few legions now.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not even one of your favorites. So maybe do you have one favorite legion or faction within the heresy?
I have always enjoyed the World Eaters, even before starting my Blood Angels. I wanted to do a World Eaters army, but um I wasn't confident in my painting ability to actually do white properly. So I was like, oh, I'll work up to it. Like my birthday is the 12th, and then they're the 12th Legion, and I've always like kind of seen a bit of myself in them.
Hmm.
Um, in terms of like their there's the two sides of them. Like the Warhounds are like
Yeah. No.
savage but noble, and
Mm.
then the World Eaters is like that completely flipped in on its head. And I think it like really depicts like the duality of masculinity as well, where it's like it is actually harder to create something than it is to destroy something. So I've always liked that aspect. Also, the color scheme is just cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're for sure my favorite. I'm thinking of revisiting them.
Yeah.
Probably once those new Assault Marines comes out, the two Mark twos.
Mark two. Yeah.
I love me some Mark two jump packs.
Oh yeah. Mm. Yeah. My only doubt is that, well, I think they have the same poses as the rest of the Marines,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
not very dynamic for assault Marines. But well, I mean, if you, well,
I just
we,
I hope they come with all chain axes too. I have extras, but
yeah,
be nice.
yeah, well, one can hope for sure. Do you have one favorite character from the Heresy?
I don't really know. I've only read maybe a third of the books,
Mhm.
but just in terms of like personal attraction to a character, maybe I actually do like Rabute Gilliman quite a bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a bit of an oddball choice, but he's like the honorable statesman, Excel Maxer.
Yeah.
But one of the scenes that I remember vividly is he's chasing down Lorgar and Angron,
Yeah.
and he's like I will destroy you for what you've done, essentially. Where I'm like, yeah, righteous brother, get him. It's probably Gilliman or Conrad Kurz. I also love Conrad Kurz. Death is nothing compared to vindication. Like,
Okay. Um, well, do you have one event or one book or something that from the law of the heresy that you specifically love?
um, I don't know if it's a specific event, um, but I love like the Fallen storyline, um, where it's like archetypical Dark Angels, like, oh, like we have secrets, but we can't let them know we have secrets, so we have to act loyal even though we're like not loyal. Like the whole it just every time it would go back to Corswain and like his band
Mm.
of knights while they're defending like the Astronomicon on Terra during the siege. And what is his name? Zahariel, the librarian.
Yeah, the
He's
library.
like, oh, like we can't let Corsway know that we're totally not loyal, so we have to go along with his plans while trying to sabotage. And they completely screw it up, and they help Corswain the whole time. Like these guys are idiots. I think it's hilarious. And my Dark Angels army is traitor, so
Obviously. Yeah.
yeah, gotta be.
Okay. And well, actually, we talked about like your different armies so far, but
Mm-hmm.
uh, do you have a specific process when you're thinking or you're beginning to work on a new army?
So I don't start a new army project unless I'm driven to the color scheme for one. I think I can do something like semi-unique with the
Mhm.
color scheme also. Like for instance, like my Dark Angels, like everyone's like, oh, the green's amazing. I'm like, for Caliban, brother. So um there's that, but also it's less of this now than it used to be. But in terms of like list theme and design
Mm.
would be one of the primary considerations for me. If I think a Legion has a cool color scheme, like for Death Guard, for example, I've been like cooking something up in my head, but I've made lists and I haven't been like super grabbed by one yet out of all my ideas. So even though I think, oh, a Death Guard army would be cool, I haven't formulated an army I'd actually want to play.
Mm.
So it's like a Rubik's cube of all those factors for me.
So like painting and hobby work and also the
The
gameplay.
game, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Uh, Speaking of which, about gameplay, uh, what do you enjoy in the gameplay? About the gameplay, what's the biggest, the main aspects that you really like about what we know today as the Horus Heresy, so second edition?
Yeah, I love chaos. So I'll have a plan formulated in my head, like strategically I need to do X, Y, Z, go. And when that doesn't happen, I'm like, okay, I'm thinking on the spot, what can I do? Can I recover? And then if the dice betray me, I'm like, all right, so be it. Like one of the reasons why I added the Exindio into my army is it has it's terrible, by the way, but I love it, but it's terrible. It has the rule where if it takes a wound and you fail leadership, it just starts attacking the closest target. And the event I attended recently, I think we'll talk about that in the future. Half my games, I failed leadership, and I was like, "Here you go, mate. This is your 500-point model now. Have fun." I wasn't salty about it at all. I was like, "This is hilarious. Now I have to deal with this. Damn."
Oh, come on. Yeah, but I mean, that's my opinion, but and I hope it will stick with the new edition is that it's never uh, it's never too late to reverse those team and maybe sometimes you are at the end of turn two and you think you're done, that you're going to be wiped off the board, etc. And then in one dice roll, then you can absolutely change the how it goes
Change the pace.
about the
Yeah.
game. Yeah. And
Never give up.
yeah,
Heresies is like a
yeah,
big like the pendulums goes every game turn, right?
yeah.
I've been down like 4 points in one turn or something, and I've been up a point or two on the following turn. So yeah, literally never give up. Play every game to its like final conclusion, because even if you're down like crazy,
Mm.
you might have a specific, even if you lose,
Yeah,
you might have a specific event in the game that will make the game memorable for you.
exactly.
So like the enjoyment can ensue even if you're, getting pounded into the ground.
Mm. Yeah, it could be. I mean, we saw like tactical surgeons like killing praetors or
It
exploding
happened it
dreadnoughts.
happened to me yesterday. I played a game with a local guy who's playing Raven Guard. He had three Dark Furies, I think.
Yeah,
I had like intercepted them pretty hard. He had like three Dark Furies in his Praetor charge into my tacticals.
yeah.
And I was like, okay, I will overwatch you with my 15 Stormwing tacticals. I gunned all of them down. He wasn't happy, but I was like,
Oh, that's mean, but yeah,
it
that's
is what it is. Yeah.
what it is. That's what the game is all about. And do you have specific expectations about the new edition?
So I've thought a lot about this. Um, and reading the leaked rules and such,
Mhm.
what I want the most is a change up in the very established metagame that is 2.0.
Mm.
I think one of your previous guests, Rob Metters Miniatures, said this as well, where if I go to an event, say, we meet at the table and I'm like, oh, hey, Jay, you're playing Iron Hands. And you're like, yes, amazing. I can literally guess 70% of your
Yeah.
list before
Mm.
even you taking anything out of the case.
Mhm.
So one of the things I'm looking forward to the most is the new force organization chart.
Yeah.
What like variants that can bring along with like Legion rules and such. Um, so yeah, that's my biggest expectation and want, I guess.
Mm.
Just because like I'll yeah, and it is kind of my fault. I played 100 plus 2.0 games. I know how things are going to play out most times, which is kind of sucks. It like sucks the fun out a bit. And that's why I've kind of moved towards the more social aspect.
Mm. Yeah, usually, yeah, it's really true that when you're facing like in a semi-competitive events or anything, you know that if you're facing Mechanicum, you're going to face like 20, 30 Myrmidons. That if you're facing like Imperial Fist, you're going to play Stone Gauntlet or that kind
Uh,
of stuff. And yeah, it's a bit exhausting. Like, if you want to bring a like specific, a bit more thematic lists, well, it's going to be difficult to play. So yeah.
yeah, that's why like I've kind of spat in the face of the meta for 2.0 as well. Like I refuse to bring a Las Cannon heavy support squad. I refuse to bring Whirlwind Scorpius. I just adapted snipers for this Dark Angels army, and every time I use them, I'm like, ugh,
Yeah. Mm.
ugh. So like my World Eaters is tank heavy. No one brings tanks, and then my Dark Angels, it is a little more like meta focused, but like Exindio,
No,
all sins are forgiven. You know,
no. If you bring anything new, it's yeah, no,
yeah, all sins are forgiven.
no. You talked about like several times about your local community. So
Yeah,
you have like a strong community to
it's
with.
growing, which is nice. The guys I played with in 1.0,
Mhm.
Most of them still play 1.0, which is kind of an annoyance.
Okay.
My main opponent, Eric, my good friend, we switched to 2.0, and then I live in Ottawa, Ontario, in Canada. So we started, going first year at 2.0, started going to local events.
Mhm.
Um, the Ottawa scene hasn't really picked up until early this year. We did a heresy campaign starting at like 1,000 points or so, going up to 3,000.
Mhm.
So I think we've got like 25-ish players, which
Yeah,
is pretty good. And I'm really happy that people took the initiative to organize. And I kind of played like an oversight role in terms of like, oh, these are the rules, how you play the game and such. So yeah, I'm looking forward to what 3.0 brings for my local group.
yeah, yeah. I mean, because it's really cool to have like 20 or plus people to play with on a regular basis. Because I mean, diving into heresy is not it's quite a commitment too. I
Yeah.
mean, regarding others like Games Workshop's games, like if you want to play 40K, if you want to play I don't know, Age of Sigma or that kind of stuff, you don't need that much miniatures. And actually, I have to say, I'm don't know much about those games, but when I saw people play those, well, they play with gray, even not prime miniatures. So
Yeah.
that's, I mean, the heresy is like you know that you're going to invest time and money on it, so that's really cool to have that such a big and strong community.
Yeah, so like a lot of guys had just started their armies, and then there was a few who had like 1,000 points or so. Like they split the box together. They didn't really have anything to like latch onto in terms of a community. Yeah, now we've got like a pretty lively Discord chat. People are excited for three, or a little bit trepidatious in terms of like changes. I
Mhm.
mean, I'm obviously scared of a few changes too, but whatever it brings, and
Yeah.
adapt, right? Adapt to overcome. So,
Yeah, and honestly, I think we can say that from what we saw, the game is changing, but
oh yeah.
going to stay mostly the same. So, well, I still have some doubts, but uh, I don't have any fears. No. So,
The war gear thing keeps me up at night. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah. Mm.
Yeah, it's like will I be able to field my companions with their
Yeah.
combi Volkites and Tyrannic Great Swords, or does it have to be plasma pistol, power fist,
Mm.
Calibanite Warblade, bolter, one Tyrannic Great Sword, and then two with the shields,
Yeah.
and then duplicate that for
Mm.
another five or something, right? I'll be like,
Yeah, I'm
uh,
curious. I'm
we'll
curious
see.
about
We'll
that.
see.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think it's one of those things though, where like if it happens, I'll be like, okay, this sucks for like a week or
Yeah.
so, and then get over it. Or it's like a Beetlejuice scenario, right? You just like don't speak it into existence. If you don't talk about it, it won't exist, right?
Exactly. Okay. So we were talking about Wargear, and yeah, we're going to see what maybe,
See what happens.
yeah, but well, like for the rest, like we are going to adapt and maybe cut some ends and some power swords and thunder hammers, and then switch to something else.
I think I might just make new models, but we'll see. I don't know if I have it in my heart to like we've kind of touched on this, but a lot of people's heresy armies, like it's not so much for gaming as it is for like this is my hobby project that I have poured,
Yeah.
effort and love into because I like it,
Yeah.
right? Rather than like, oh, this is what the metagame dictates that I should be
Mm.
taking. So yeah, I don't think I'll ever take the arms off my companions. I'll just like put them on the shelf, nice little time capsule, and if there's a unit that replaces them, there's a unit that replaces them.
Yeah, that I think it's the right state of mind. So we spoke about those events like quickly before, but I think that's a major point and a major, I mean, topic in the heresy scene, gaming scene. There are a lot of events. Well, I mean, specifically in the UK and in the US. Well, I mean, well, I'm in France. We have some, but not
Mm-hmm.
much. Far from that. And you went to one of the biggest events of heresy like twice in a row, if I'm
2
correct.
years in a row, yeah.
That's the no retreat in Gibraltar from the guys at SN
Yep.
plus SN. And can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, sure. First thing I'll say is that if you have ever thought of maybe going to the SN No Retreat event, apply and just see if you get in and go. It is the premier hobby gaming event probably in the world. I mean, I've gone, so I'm kind of biased, let's be real.
Yeah.
But like the SN guys put in so much effort and so much love and care into the event um, that it's essentially unparalleled in my mind. It is the hobby event.
Hmm.
Um, my first year was last year, and I brought my world leaders, and this is the event that kind of really that changed my mindset on the game and the hobby.
Hmm.
Where I went, I was like, yeah, I think my list was like really well tailored. I had like made a couple permutations throughout the months leading up to the event,
Mhm.
um, and just like meeting meeting people that I had talked to on Instagram for months, if not years, hanging out with them during games and in between and after the games. I was like, oh my god, I think I care more about actually hanging out than throwing dice. Um, and it really helps. And like, there's a great group of guys that go every year. Some are returning, like myself, and some others from the UK. And then there's a cycling cast of characters, and yeah, everyone who goes is a top lad in my opinion. So yeah, if you've ever thought about it, apply and see what happens. It's an unparalleled experience.
Well, just to say, well, actually, we talked about that like last year, last summer, I think so. In full disclosure, like, I mean, you really like sold me the idea of applying, and you sold me the idea of doing Dark Angels too. But
Yeah.
I have to say that, well, I made an application, but I didn't make it. And actually, I mean, when you see the hobby level of the guys out there, like, yeah, all the armies I saw are just next level.
Yeah,
And
this year the Pardo and the SN team even admitted that this year was probably the hardest year to get in,
yeah.
because the hobby level is insane.
Mm.
Like even some of my stuff, I was like, I don't know if I should be here, but you're hardest on yourself.
No, come on. I mean, those Dark Angels, they deserve
Thank you,
to
thank you.
get there. Like,
Yeah.
no doubt about that. No, but I mean, because I had several of those people, people who went there. I had them on my series on Instagram.
Hmm.
From the top of my head, I think I had Tangential Miniatures.
Yep. Chris.
He's doing mecha, by the way.
Yep.
And
Top mech player. The
yeah.
man is the man's mind is a machine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Nice guy too.
Yeah, yeah, he did some blue mech this year.
Yep.
It looks like really, really cool. Well, yeah, I forgot about the others, but my point is like there's a really um, out of this world hobby level, and just like yeah, yeah. I mean, I think this year if they do like last year like open applications, I think I will submit something because well, if you don't
Yeah,
do anything,
I think there will be one next year as well. This year was the 10th anniversary of the event, so there might be like a leap year or something, but we'll see. I know that the SN guys have been super busy in terms of like running No Retreat, running their grand tournament that's in February, I think,
Mhm.
prepping for 3.0, right? So
Mhm.
it's
But
definitely been a big year for them.
so from your perspective, that's like one event that made you change your
Yeah,
perspective about the
100%. And
yeah.
it also like in my local scene
Mhm.
in Ontario, there's probably only a few, like speaking from when I was doing my world leaders full time, there was
Mhm.
probably only one or two armies. I was like, I cannot best this
Mm.
One of them's my buddy Tim from Toronto. He's the one who told me to apply to No Retreat. He had gone 2 years
He's doing
previous.
he's doing white scars, no?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
oh, yeah, those are awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I was like, oh, because I for a while I was a big fish in a little pond just in Ottawa, and I was like, oh, I'm a little fish in a big pond. And then going to No Retreat, I was like, I can do better. I want to be a better painter kind of deal.
Mm.
So that's when I completely switched to Dark Angels, and I was like, all right, I'm going to get better with my brush because I lean really heavily on the airbrush for my world eaters.
Mhm.
I was like, I want to learn new things. I want to apply them and then see where it takes me.
But honestly, about those Dark Angels, is that because I mean, well, I saw all your world eaters, well, at least the ones that you shared on the
Uh,
one, but those Dark Angels, I mean, like your painting style has really evolved. Like it's something else. It's not just, I mean, the colors, well. I mean, world eaters, like, yeah, you're not going to do like green and red and blue world eaters, of
mm-hmm.
course, but and even there's something like I don't know if you said that, but there's a really artistic touch about those dark angels, like a painting, like one painting that you hang on the wall, like uh, the mint green is, I think,
For Caliban, brother.
yeah, exactly, but that and the pinkish red too. Well, that's something that you didn't do before, even with your Blood Angels. Well,
No. Yeah.
of course, there's quite a fair amount of time between those, and honestly, all the swords and your NNM, your the pink, well, not pink, violet, uh,
Yeah, it's like a
yeah,
dark violet,
yeah.
white gray mix. Um, I started the sword. The first one I did was my herald that I applied to No Retreat for this year when I applied last year. And I was just like, I don't know how to paint non-metallic metal. I got some ideas from a few people. I was like, I'm just gonna try purple and see what happens.
Mm,
So that was really like a lot of this Dark Angels army is just experimentation and seeing what landed.
yeah.
And it really kept me going through, like they're black, right?
Mm.
You need to make black interesting, and they're all knights. So I was like, everyone gets custom heraldry.
Yeah, you did a fantastic job with the tacticals, uh, Dark Angel.
Everyone's unique.
Yeah,
No single marine is exactly the same, which I'm really happy with.
they are all traitors.
Yeah.
That's
Oh well, the ones wearing green are the ones in the red are like, are we the baddies? What's going on?
so you played a lot the game.
Yeah.
Did you ever throw Metal Mini at some opponent
I
because
haven't thrown a metal mini, but I've thrown a tape measure in jest.
why?
Yeah.
All right.
Just a wee one. Just a wee one.
Okay.
Friendly game between the lads. A couple beers were flowing, and I'm just like that straight to the chest.
So we spoke like quite already a lot about your painting, but how would you describe yourself, your painting style?
I think it's kind of a hybrid. I haven't really like thought about this too much. Like I'm definitely like Ollie is the king of heresy. Ollie Hammer or Ollie 83. I don't remember his
Yeah, AD.
exact handle. So in my perspective, like him and the early heresy paint jobs from Ford's World is like they were for sure my main inspiration for the World Eaters.
Mhm.
Because I was like, oh, okay, well, I want to paint like not specifically in a grimdark style. I still want to use bold colors,
Mhm.
but I want them to be like, rustic kind of deal.
Mhm.
And then with the Dark Angels, like for instance, you can kind of see on the back end of the Proteus speeders here. So I'm still using some of that more rustic style, I guess, because it's a piece of machinery. It should look not super polished.
Matter,
It's
yeah.
been through enough, right? But then I think I've leaned like with like exposure to painters I perceive to be better than myself.
Mm.
I've kind of leaned more into like the painterly style for the individual miniatures, like the riders on the front there. So I think I've kind of merged the two into some kind of strange hybrid.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's that's a very unique and personal style, and it works like wonders. Well, in my humble opinion, but
Thank you.
yeah, no, yeah, well, this Dark Angel army is really like, yeah, it's a piece of art, obviously. So, is there any like technique that you manage, maybe not master, but to handle on a quite regular basis?
Um, for me, the hardest technique's true metallic metal.
Mm. Sorry, excuse me, just a second.
It's all good.
Ok, je vais regarder quoi. Ça a commencé, vas-y. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Um, and yeah, sorry. So,
Yeah. So hardest technique for me is true metallic metal. I just think I'm bad at it. I don't know what it is. That was kind of one of the factors where I'm like, maybe I just start learning about metallic metal and do that instead. There's something about it that's just like never clicked in my brain. I don't know what it is, but really, like the skill that I found hardest and still struggle with is just brush control.
oh yeah.
Yeah, just like doing a million little scratches over and over again, I've gotten better. But there are still days where I'm like, I just have to put the paintbrush down. It's not happening today, and that's okay.
Mm.
You know? So yeah, I think that's it. Like just brush control.
And what would you improve or try that you never used before?
I mean, getting better at true metallics would be nice, but I want to learn to paint faces better. Like I think I want to change to like like single miniatures or like painting busts and stuff
Mm.
instead of like full army projects. But we'll see what the future brings.
Yeah, because I think those one like non-metallic metal, faces, that kind of stuff, it's really like fun and awesome to do on larger pieces,
Yeah,
bursts and everything. And but yeah, it really takes time to try out
learn and refine it.
to fail again, and then manage to do something.
Like
And actually, when you're doing army projects, it's hard to find enough time just to practice, actually. So
one of the things I was thinking about a lot is that like painting is a solitary hobby, right? We have our Instagram group where we share our work in progresses. Um, but you only get so much feedback from that rather than like taking a class with someone who has a completely different mindset to how they approach not just a miniature but certain aspects of a miniature and like taking that information in and learning to translate it I think is like super critical to growing as a painter. I know like I have picked the brain of painters I think are far better than me and I'm like okay I can assimilate some of this knowledge and translate it into something.
yeah. And actually, I think, well, I don't know many, but and it didn't make me any better at it, but just it made me think about some other stuff. It's just like artists, but in other with other medias, other and just like how do you treat like light, or do you treat
Mm-hmm.
or do you treat like
Shapes.
and
How do you tackle this shape?
how do you tell a story and etc. And yeah, that's I mean like it's not a cross-cultural dialogue, but it's more about like cross-artistic sharing about experiences and etc. And that's really like very interesting experience. Do you have a favorite color to paint? So you did
Um,
red. Well, you did a red army, you did a white army, you did a black army.
I like painting green.
Oh yeah.
I've learned I really like green. Yeah,
Oh,
green
Salamander.
and green and purple. Yeah.
Oh, and Emperor Children. All right. So no,
Emperor Children could be cool in the future. I have a bunch of ideas for
yeah.
projects, but nothing's stuck yet. I think.
Yeah, I think they if you do those, they would look like they would look really, really cool.
Thank you. Thank you.
Is there a color that you really don't like to use and paint at all?
Red's hard.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I'm cheating with the pink. Red's
Yeah.
hard. Keeping it red, very difficult.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
don't know if I have the patience for it. We'll see.
Okay. So for now, you're keeping on painting Dark Angels? No, you're done with Dark Angels?
Yeah, so I'm kind of like caretaker mode right now. Coming back, I really, my time management for finishing the Dark Angels army between December and March wasn't great.
Okay.
So from March to May 23rd, I think, was when my girlfriend and I left for Spain.
Mm.
I was, putting in like 40 something hour painting weeks. Um, so I'm taking a little holiday, but I'm working on, a few things on the side, just one miniature at a time. Like the new vampire models, I'm like, oh, those are so cool, the new skeletons. So I might like I'm working on a vampire right now. Just on my desk here. He's looking okay. But I'm gonna work on this a little bit more just in the coming days.
Ah, but
Just
yeah.
just like a little single side miniature. But yeah, like I think in terms of like heresy motivation, that's a big to be determined.
Yeah.
In terms of what units stick around, what units I want to actually add to either army. Um, there's probably going to be like I think my buddy and I are going to do Adepticon doubles next year, doubles for heresy.
Yeah.
So we have to decide, like what our projects are going to be because we got to do like same bases, make sure
Oh, yeah. Cool.
they mesh well together. That might be Solar Auxilia, but we'll see.
Okay. Yeah. You have to paint a lot of bodies for Solar, but yeah. Mm.
Yeah, but it'll be fine.
Okay. And so yeah, some future painting projects. So yeah, that double for.
Yeah, the doubles army, and then I have an idea on how I want to expand the Dark Angels.
Mhm.
I want to change them into like a Raven Wing army. So
Oh,
just like bikes, like bike command squad, outrider bikes,
mm.
maybe some flyers. Expand the speeder repertoire that I have,
Mhm.
but I'm waiting for plastic outriders.
Uh,
So
and
2027, 2028, I don't know.
decent models too, because I have to say the Outriders we have for now, I don't
Well,
really like the models, but
well, they're also like 123 Canadian for three bikes.
oh yeah, no,
So
I'm not even talking about prices. No, it's just about just the model itself. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it, but yeah.
yeah, there's something about knights on metal steeds where I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, that is so cool. So I don't care if it's good. I literally don't care. I just want the army to look cool. Like I played Armored Spearhead World Eaters for quite a bit, like the past few years. I didn't win a single game, but like, I blasted my opponent off the board for most of them. So I was like, whatever.
Yeah, but that's cool. Uh, is there a model that you prefer that you're most proud of?
It's for sure this thing, my Knight Porphyrion.
Ethereum? Yeah.
This was done yeah, around 2 years ago, and I had bought it because I've wanted one for a few years at that point. I bought it and I took 2 weeks off of work to I took two because I was like, otherwise it's never getting done, right? I took 2 weeks off to work to finish it, and I got it done in like 11 days straight or something. And just the fact that I was able to finish it in the time period, I'm like, amazing. It's left the shelf maybe once or twice,
Mm.
and it's just gonna live in the shelf forever, essentially.
Yeah, but it's really like it's my favorite night, and yeah,
Yeah, it's so cool.
yeah, it's very very cool.
The big turtle.
Yeah. Is there a model that you won't ever want to paint again that you don't even want to see on your hobby desk?
Yeah, I mean, like paladins is for sure one of them, but
Yeah.
I did. Yeah, I think probably paladins, but I used to do like some commissions here and there,
Mhm.
and I don't think I would ever do like a Hell Drake or a Mauler Fiend or
Ah,
something.
yeah, yeah.
Just like trim extravaganza. Wow, so fun. So it'd
Mm.
be like, a lot of the chaos stuff. I just
Oh yeah.
can't be fussed.
Yeah, I mean 40K chaos is full of trim. Like, yeah.
It's brutal. I did like an Abaddon for a
Yeah.
client a while back, and he wasn't too bad actually. But even then, like by the end, I was like, Lord, spare me.
Right. Is there a model that you're dreaming to paint and it didn't happen yet?
I would love to do like a Kaitan in World Eaters colors. It's like
Oh
the
yeah.
white with the blue
I,
shoulders.
I,
That'd be super cool. But it's just budgeting the time for it, I think, is
mm. It's huge.
the issue.
It's a huge mini. Like the Kitan is really, really, really big. Yeah. Mm. And if you could create one non-existing model,
I think it wouldn't be a specific model, more so as it would be like a specific unit
yeah.
for like just the general legions is like heavy destroyers would be cool, like Terminators with like destroyer style weapons.
Oh yeah.
I love destroyers. I think they're super cool. They suck, but I like them. Um, so yeah, it probably would be that. But like, if I had to think about a model, I don't know. Maybe a World Eaters Praetor. That'd be nice. Get on a Games Workshop. Like, come on, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. But speaking of heavy destroyers, I think they have rules in the
The
Panoptic.
Panoptica. Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, that would be a nice like hobby project, like to
Yeah, and like I guess technically Saturnine Terminators fill that
a bit.
role
Mm,
ish.
mm.
Like I know mine are gonna have double disintegrators, and just like if they die, they die. You know.
That's their job. Wow, I mean that's their job. Um, would you rather go on a trip with on the across the warp with Engron or Erebus?
Probably Angron, and try and play the most deadliest game of like cat and mouse. Because like I think Erebus is just a total twat. I hate him so much.
I can get
But
that.
yeah.
Yeah, right. So we are done with the I mean the main hobby question. It's more like wow. I mean you know the drill. That's the second time you're going through this. But
Hmm.
did you ever wash a brush in your beverage?
So my previous answer was no, but my
Yeah.
current answer is very close. Very close, my friend. Um, to be more like proactive with painting, I have like a small setup in my home office here. My workshop is in the basement,
Yeah.
and like there's not a lot of space on my desk, so I'll have like my water next to my coffee or my tea, and I've had my brush like almost dipped into it. I was like, oh, that's close.
Uh, I can't remember who gave that advice, but I had someone in the series telling me that uh, when he has some beverage on the hobby desk, he always put that in a sealed bottle.
The sippy cup, yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So,
smart.
do you do you enjoy any particular physical activity or sport?
Yeah, so I was big into like team sports when I was a kid. I mean, I live in Canada. I did hockey, skiing, snowboarding. I love winter sports. But right now, I've been thinking about like rejoining like a rec league team or something. So we'll see what happens there. But I mostly just do weight training. I've been doing it for I don't know 8 years or so now, and I didn't think I would like it when I started, but I think there's something about like the structure that it gives my life that I really enjoy.
Actually, there's a lot of heresy hobbyists who do weightlifting and that kind of stuff. I was amazed by the number of people who answered like, yeah, that's my sport is workout, weightlifting, etc.
Hmm.
I guess that's
Training to get that Astartes strength.
that's that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
right.
strength 3. I want to be strength 4.
Uh, do you have any favorite food?
um, Probably like pasta. because it's just so versatile. You can have
Oh yeah.
some, but what's coming to mind right now? My girlfriend and I just went to this sushi place that opened up in Ottawa, and like I never liked sushi before, but we went there and we had some like like otoro, like
Mhm.
fatty tuna. I was like, this is incredible. Oh my God, I've been thinking about it all day.
And do you have, sorry, do you have any favorite drink to go with it?
Yeah, there's nothing better than cold water, in my opinion.
Oh yeah. All right.
There's just I don't really drink a lot of alcohol unless I'm at no retreat, and then I drink a lot of alcohol. But yeah, just there's nothing more refreshing than just
Yeah.
like a glass of water. It's just this is kind of like a weird thing, but whenever I would like go to like rent a house, I would sneak away from the realtor and try the tap water, and if the tap water was bad, I was like, I can't rent it, can't
Yeah.
rent it.
And do you do anything else while you're painting or being to?
Mostly listen to music or podcasts. For a while, I was watching. This is like 2 years ago or something. I was watching like old Star Trek.
Yeah.
I would go through like old Star Trek series, and then I ended up watching every episode of every series. And I was like, I think I'll just stick to stick to music or something.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I guess that listening to podcasts, yeah, audiobooks, etc., is quite common also within the hobby community. And yeah.
Yeah, because like I usually feel that whenever I try and paint, I try and do it for like 3 hours or more. I usually feel that like my first 45 minutes to an hour is not very productive. And then after that time period, the next 2 hours is just like just disappears.
Mhm.
So I think I just need to get through that first like speed bump, and then the rest of the work just kind of like my girlfriend has to like pull me away from the desk. Like it's time to go to sleep. I'm like, okay, boss.
Um, if you had to choose, Engron or the lion?
They both have like their positives and their negatives, right? Like they're both kind of dicks. Um, I think I like Angron more as a character, but he's just not given much to do. And with like the Lion's current, like I guess redemption arc, I guess you could call it, in terms of like bringing his lost sons home, I think I'd have to say the Lion, just in terms of like overall character exposure. Also, his model's nicer.
No. If you had to choose two, Drop Pod Assault or Exterminatus?
I mean, I like the World Eaters, so it's drop pod assault, my man. What is it like the 32 hours or whatever? It's like chop chop lads. We have a schedule to attend to.
Yeah. And Karn is watching you actually. So,
Yeah, literally. So
Phosphex or Graviton?
I have PTSD with Phosphex. One of the local guys, this guy Liam, he plays Iron Warriors, and he would just constantly shell my assault marines with Phosphex shells. So
Yeah.
I'm a graviton enjoyer. I think it's funny. It's like, oh, I'm gonna move 7. I was like, actually, you move
Uh,
2.
yeah.
Yeah, sorry, you move -2. You move 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
And you have to roll dice
Yeah,
just to see if you don't die in.
that's unfortunate. It's just like there's it's like spirit breaking. You're getting like 7 different grab templates a turn. You're just like, oh my God, make it stop. So you have to roll strength test, and then if you fail, you have to roll your armor, and then if you fail armor, you have to roll
Yeah.
concussive test, and then make sure to move -2, and then also give me dangerous terrains. It's just like make it stop, right? So I think they're hilarious.
Right. So just to finish this little chat, uh, quite a quick look at some of your models. Well, obviously that's just really a quick, small selections, but we spoke about the companions, the Deathwing companions. They are here with the Praetor, if I'm correct.
Mm-hmm.
And the Herald is at the back, but is there. I really love what you did using that very old school back banner on the power pack that
Gotta have them. It's so
doesn't
cool.
grow old. It's so cool.
It's real cool, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
We have also is maybe not a Herald, but we have a World Eater banner. I mean, like you can see that the painting style, Bryan's painting style between like World Eaters and Dark Angels. Yeah, it's if you I think if you show those pictures to someone who don't know your work, people might thing that those are painted by different people, obviously.
Yeah, I've gone through, like you said, I think I've gone through like a bit of a like an evolution between the two
Mm.
projects.
Yeah. And well, I mean, like the world eaters were like weathered, a bit of blood, but not too much.
Yeah,
I mean,
tasteful amount.
yeah, that's how I like my world eaters. If I do some someday, but not all bloody all over, and etc.
Yeah,
Like you don't even see the,
I think it detracts from the hard work you've put in,
yeah,
right?
yeah. And but the Dark Angels are weathered too, but the armor specifically is really like it's really neat. Like the the great gradients on the
Hmm.
black are really like really subtle, and yeah, those are well.
Yeah, it's lots of hand glazing, dark blues and blacks, and then building up, like you can see on the paladin slash praetor's his forward moving hand, just building up texture with multiple different
Mm.
blue gray mixes, and I think that's what really it's what really sells like the. I was kind of going for like an old like medieval vibe with them.
Mm.
Like they should look dark, but also there's a certain like regalness to them, with like the stark highlights on them, and then the like all the armor is just like micro scratches everywhere. That's why I was talking about like some of the hardest thing is just keeping my brush control steady. So then there are some days where like this is done. I can't do it anymore. I can't do more scratches. Right.
And we can see also we talked about like the sword and the NNM on the sword, and you have like two that the first one on the well is the Praetor actually the Paladin is really cool. And the guy on the right, maybe on the right it's the first one that you did maybe no with
The
the companion
for
with the combi Volkite no
the first ones I did are in like the very back,
okay
out of focus,
yeah.
unfortunately. But yeah. That one was the last companion I did, and he was a bit of a rush job. But I still like him. I think it's a cool pose. It's a classic Warhammer pose, like like the
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's very like a second edition, the Blood Angel with the Power Fist and the Bolter. Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Well, I included like your whole pal, like the it's not the Incendius, but it's see no it's not the
It's no, yeah, it's just a regular
that's just a
dreadnought. Yeah.
but yeah the pose was very good. And so we have the Dark Angel Herald with I think the it's also I mean the banner is a sculpt from Wilf too, I guess.
Yeah, it's a sculpt from a wolf, but it was like a Patreon tier reward from Heresy Hammer.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And
So I was like, this is cool. I'm going to use this.
oh
Right.
yeah, no, that's splendid. And we have like another word editor. I guess that's the word editor that you used for your tutorial.
Yeah, my how to paint white tutorial, which
Yeah, which
lots of people seem to enjoy. So I'm happy,
yeah, but
happy to be of assistance.
actually, I would advise anyone who is looking to do world eaters to have a look at Bryan's tutorial. It's in two parts, if I'm.
Yeah, so like the World Leaders and Death Guard, I feel really do with just their base color scheme really do benefit a lot from weathering, and I know oils can be a bit of a hurdle for some people to get into because they're a skill in and of themselves.
Mhm.
So I had broken down the tutorial in terms of like, okay, these are the base colors I use, this is how I build up the white, and then the like the Caribbean blue, because that tone of blue is hard to find.
Yeah.
Um, or I mean, you just do like the dark blue, which is most people do. And then the second part was the weathering steps,
Mhm.
because I was thinking about, okay, like some people might just want the weathering steps, some people might just want the white, um, and it's a fair amount of steps,
Mhm.
I think, as well. So it was a lot to probably do all in one Instagram post. And I'm kind of lazy, so I should probably start doing reels and such. So I gotta get myself a proper light box, and then we'll work on that.
But actually, I have to say, like tutorials, the step by steps are pretty cool also in just pictures because you can have like a proper look at the pictures, not trying to pause the video.
Yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, no, this one is really interesting and yeah, I would advise anyone to is who wants to dive into world leaders to have a look at that one. If you're struggling with painting white, yeah, that's a good.
yeah. White is tricky, but once you get the hang of white, it's snappy.
Mm,
In my opinion, I think I found black far more challenging
mm.
in terms of like, oh, how much of this should be a black, how much of this should be mid-tone. The big um, the big problem I guess I had with it was keeping my highlights tight.
Mm.
And so that's why I was like, okay, it's time to use the brush. Airbrush only gets me so far. It's time to be an artist.
Yeah, but you can do like very, very cool stuff just with an airbrush.
Oh, for sure.
Like we talked about that with Rob from Medals Miniatures. Well, I mean, he's not using only the airbrush, but
But he's a maestro with the airbrush.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, but adding those steps with the airbrush and then some like really nice details with the brush, yeah, it's like next level, obviously.
Yep. Once you build the like the steps and like the repertoire in your set of hobby skills, you can really apply things and kind of like what Rob says with Metas Managers, it's like once you have your certain like raison d'être of painting, you can then just blast through armies if that's what you want to do, of course. And I always support getting armies at least to barely tabletop standards.
Of course. Well, so thank you very much, Brian. Do you have a word to conclude, maybe?
Yeah. So I mean, thank you so much for having me. It's been a blast, and you know, meeting face to face for the first time like this. And to all the viewers out there, if you have any questions or you know want some critiques on your work, hit me up at Barelytabletopbryan on Instagram. It's one of the reasons I like posting, just talking with y'all and getting more involved in the hobby community. Honestly.